I'm 37 years old. I'm not married. I don't have a child. And I feel like my clock is ticking.
She's saying that she's 37 years old and her clock is ticking. She needs a man, she needs to start a family. She feels like her life is just going to be on hold because she doesn't have a man at that age. She was looking for a man so much that she had to go back to her home country to be in a relationship with a man. Let me show you all this video.
I can't keep this anymore. No, I can't hide it anymore. I'm at a stage whereby I think I need to voice out. I need people to hear, my story, what's going on with me. Because I'm at a stage in my life whereby I am beginning to think of you already know what. I'm 37 years old. I'm not married. I don't have a child. And I feel like my clock is ticking. I've been in this country since I was 12 years old. Please, I need you to pay attention to my story. I've been in this country since I was 12. I've been in few relationships, but it just didn't work. I'm not a bad person. I try my best to be the best that I can be. And I try my best to be the best that I can be with my partners that I've been with in the past. But it just didn't work. I know you can relate. So after so many years, I decided to go to my country in Africa. Because due to advices from different people, that maybe if I go back to Africa, maybe I can find someone and start fresh with the person. So I took their advice and I went there. I intended to stay for at least a month because, I have a reputable job here that I'm doing and I wouldn't want to stay more than necessary. So I intended to stay a month or at most 2 months. So I went to Africa and I met with someone. I met a few people, but I met someone that was really an interesting person. This person was also working somewhere in Africa. They had a job that they were doing. So we became friends for a while. At the time he was 39. He was like 2 years older than I am, and he never been married, nor have any kid. Does not have any kids either. So yeah. So we started dating after, knowing each other for a few weeks. And we started dating and I made my intention known. And he said he was also ready. That he also has been looking for someone that he could settle down with, maybe there in Africa or abroad. It didn't really matter to him. But, it looked like we had some things in common. So I ended up staying in Africa for 4 months, more than what I bargained for. And I thought it was worth it at the time. So that way I was able to know him, much better. And he was also, able to know me. So I came back here after 4 months and we kept, the communication going. And eventually I'm trying to cut the story short. I filed for him. He came here to join me here and abroad. So he was with me for a good 6 months without working. He wasn't working because there was no need for him to work at the time because, we're still putting all his documents together and everything. So he was with me. I live in my own house and he was living with me. I was feeding him. I was clothing him. He didn't have to pay no rent because, he was my man. I loved him with everything in me. And he loved me too. I believed he loved me. So, 6 months. It didn't work for 6 months. I was just doing everything. It was worth it because he was my man. I will do anything in this world for the one I love. Anything. It doesn't matter. I will go head over heels with anyone. With anyone. It doesn't matter. If I love you, I will do anything with anyone that I love. And I will still do it again. But I want to put my story out there. I need advice from you. And maybe you can learn a little bit from my story. After 8 months, this man started talking to someone down the street. He started, like she's also an African person, and she was married before, but she was divorced. And every time I go to work, she's just the only person. She's just the only person I see that they talk back and forth. So I talked to him about this. I said I didn't feel comfortable with their relationship, the way they talk back and forth when I'm around, when I'm not around. They already have each other's numbers and they talk. And he just told me, no, it's just no, there's no string attached, no nothing. It's just like, just talking once in a while, someone to talk to around here. And the lady also say hello to me. She knew it was my man. Cut long story short, you know where the story is going. They started dating without me knowing. All of a sudden, this lady already got pregnant by my man. And eventually I knew what happened. And they came right in front of me and told me that they would do, because, I was pained, I was bitter, I felt betrayed, I felt very bad. I had to confront the lady and let her know how I felt towards the whole thing and how she backstabbed me and betrayed me as a woman. So she told me, well, it's not a big deal. Calculate every penny you spent on this guy. I will give it back to you. I can even double it. And my man, on the other hand, was there with this lady. And you know what this man told me? He said he never loved me. That he was only with me because I brought him here. Because I helped him come to abroad. Listen, this is more than how you see it or how you're listening to it right now. I'm so pained. I'm trying to cut this story short. We're no longer together. I refused any amount they offered me. The lady that she was going to give me, she was going to double the amount. I left everything to come her. But till today, I'm talking, it's been 3 years now. Why I'm telling you this story is that I think about it every once in a while. I'm still single, by the way. Maybe that's why I feel this pain. That's why it's even more painful. I feel single. I'm single and I'm very miserable. Now I'm almost 40. I feel pain. I'm very miserable. Thank you for listening. If you have any advice for me or any words of prayer or any words of comfort, please send it to me. This is my story. If it what learning from, please learn from this story. By the way, this didn't happen to me. It happened to someone that I know. They told me to tell their story for them. But thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from this. Have a good rest of your day.
Please watch this video of an African woman narrate the disappointment she got out of her relationship, and I'll be right back. It's a bit lengthy, but please watch it. I'll be right back.
I'm 37 years old. I'm not married. I don't have a child. And I feel like my clock is ticking.
Fortunately, a lot of women, especially African women, have her mindset. You said you're single and you're miserable. So long as you are single and you're miserable, you will be in a relationship and you will be miserable. Dear ladies, a man is not the source of your happiness. You have to do the internal work to be happy within yourself. But if you are here saying that, oh, you're single and you're miserable, guess what? A man will only come into your life to use you. You see, a lot of you women don't understand why you end up getting disappointed and used by men. It is because of the vibe and the energy you give out. You give out a desperation energy. I am not being mean. I am just being straightforward. In her story, she was insisting saying, oh, I believe the guy loved me. Meanwhile, the guy told her that I didn't love you. I only used you to leave Africa and to immigrate abroad. You see how a lot of you women are delusional? You will see the truth. You will know the truth, but you will lie to yourself. Dear women, you cannot date above the perception that you have about yourself. If you think you're single and you're miserable and therefore you need a man, you cannot date above that. You will always attract men who will use you and abuse you because that is the perception that you have of yourself. You don't need to be out here telling us how a man took advantage of you, you need to check yourself in therapy. If you can own a home, then I believe you can afford therapy. For many of you African women, if you can only seek therapy and get to the root of why you have this desperate desire to have a man, to be married, you would be given the tools to do the internal work so that the perception you have about yourself would change. And when the perception you have about yourself changes, then you are positioned to be able to attract a decent relationship. But with this mindset and her desperation, I am sorry, men will only come into her life, pretend and use her because she is having the mentality that she is single and she's miserable. A man is not the source of your happiness, and no human being can make you happy. If you are by yourself and you're miserable, you would only have company and still be miserable. Dear ladies, do the internal work. I was having a back and forth with my Nigerian sister Timmy, and I told her that I believe women are cursed. Because women are the only ones who will go through pain, who will be mistreated badly by a man, who would experience terrible moments and terrible relationships with a man, yet many of them will still hold a delusional perspective. It does not make sense. Do not get me wrong. I am not saying that she should be pessimistic about relationship or about life, but her mentality will not attract the kind of relationship that she wants. You attract who you are. You do not attract what you desire. You will attract who you are. And every relationship she's had to this point is a reflection of who she is. Until she's willing to do the internal work, she will always be used by men. I am just being honest. I wish you the very best, but I hope you can make time, go to therapy, and get to the fundamental and root cause of the reason why you feel you are miserable because you are single. Best wishes. My name is Dr. Zita. I am a sociologist. If you're not following, guess what? Hit the follow button.
Ladies, if you're taking care of a man, you're paying his bills, you're clothing him, you're feeding him, you're doing everything for him, he's not going to go anywhere. If you're clothing a man, you're giving him house for free, you're feeding him, you're doing everything, this man will stay with you for the time. It's not because say you are the only one or something. Most of the time they are there because of the benefits they're getting from you. Most of the time they will stay, even though they don't like you, they will stay just because you're giving them free food. Men usually see the desperation in you as a woman before they date you. Most of the time they see that what you need from them is that marriage or serious relationship, and that's the only thing that they will advertise for you and tell you, let's get married, I want to get married, I'll marry you, I'll marry, because you know that's the only thing you're looking for. How can you be 37 and you come online and say, yeah, your clock is ticking and you need a man? A man see this that it doesn't have good intention with you, is going to act as if, okay, since she takes care of men, she can take care of me, I don't have place to stay, let me deceive her and tell her I'm going to marry her. They will deceive you and tell you want to marry you just because they can see that desperation, or they can see that you're a very good person and that is the only thing you're thinking about, marriage. Anyway, guys, what is your take on this video? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, Sugar Mariah David, and thank you so much for tuning in today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.